Welcome to Ark Valguero, home of the Manticore, the Dragon, and the Megapithecus. A predecessor to Lost Island and Fjorda, this map has everything you could possibly want. From aberration zones to deep sea biomes to the white cliffs of Dover where Deinonychuses spawn in the droves. I set out to defeat this map in 100 days, hardcore, utilizing herbivores only. Now there were a couple of mods included in this 100 days which I have included down below, but doing this on a hardcore with herbivores only is much more difficult than you think. So without further ado, let's jump into it, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you find yourselves enjoying the video. And so it began like any other day on Ark. Waking up next to a nice lagoon, giving my arm a little bit of a scratch because, you know, there's a specimen implant in there. God knows what it does, but hey, here we are. And we get to work straight away by harvesting up a bunch of berries, a bunch of fiber, a bunch of thatch, and wood, crafting our basic tools, you know the basic gist of this, getting some more basic resources to make more basic tools, craft our first spear up, and go ahead and slay our first bunny dodo for some reason. Bunny dodos are here again, don't know why, but here they are. Managed to kill our first dodo successfully, harvest up all the hide, and then we go about looking at some of the new dinos that are in this mod. What the stuffing hell are they? Well, great. Alrighty, back to square one we go. Now, because this is a hardcore series, when we die, we lose everything. So we went ahead and started taming our first tame because this guy looked relatively easy. It was a passive tame with the Pinacosaurus, and all we had to do was snuggle with it. So we managed to successfully tame up our brand new Pinacosaurus when more disaster struck. Okay. Oh, it's in a fight. It is very bloody. I killed the horse. But, well, and then very bad things happened for quite a few times. So as you can see, great new dinos and things in this new modded series, but we died a lot. If we weren't dying to terrifying carnivores, we were dying to swimming monkeys that didn't belong on the map. However, this time was different. Now, just imagine the character is your cybersecurity and the Rexes represent multiple threats on the internet, slowly whittling down your cybersecurity until there's nothing left. Now, this is all completely preventable with today's sponsor, NordVPN, to whom you can sign up with by using my promo code or URL found below. Now, NordVPN has a brand new threat protection system which provides you with privacy on any Wi-Fi, as well as being able to route your IP through 5,000 different servers across the world. Now, NordVPN also allows you to change your own IP address, gaining streaming services and game sales across the world. And you have the ability to use it on 6 devices on every major platform. Now, Nord accomplishes this while also being the fastest VPN out there. So what are you waiting for? Sign up to NordVPN today through my link down below or code to sign up for a 2-year plan which gets you 4 months free and is risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Thanks Nord for sponsoring today's video. So after a very rough start of dying constantly to unforeseen threats and getting our feet on the ground, we finally managed to go ahead and find a relatively peaceful area that was filled with small herbivores that we could attempt to tame up. But these guys came at us with an absolute vengeance. Now these Stigmiolochs pretty much have the ability to knock you unconscious. So one hit from them and I would be asleep like a baby and pretty much die. They would just hammer me until I would die. So we found this low level one. I only had a slingshot, however, and I got to work at trying to knock it out. And if you've ever tried to use a slingshot before, it's not fun. They do a lot of damage and it resulted in that Stigmioloch dying. However, I did manage to knock out its yellow friend and we managed to get that guy knocked out. However, we did stumble across a raptor trying to murder us. It was a 145, so it was relatively strong, and I did manage to poke it quite a few times with the spear. However, it did escape from us without dying, and to say that I was unprepared for it coming back again is an understatement. It ran at us and chaos almost ensued. Oh my god. Oh, we survived. Oh man, that was way too close. Successfully tamed up the Stigmioloch and took it to work and figuring out how to use it. As this was an extra creature part of the mods that we were using, I didn't exactly know what all of its abilities were. So it had a headbutt attack. Now these attacks also dealt torpor, but I just kind of wanted to see how much damage it would do and if it was capable of knocking things out. So this parasaur wasn't the greatest test victim because it did manage to get away from us pretty quickly. I then made a full set of hide armor, and we finished taming up our baby Cjthecheesedj. Now, this guy, once again, part of the mod pack, and we had to wait for it to go to an adult size before we could ride it. Thankfully, we took it to the adult size and took it up against this raptor. We got a saddle on it, and we actually were pretty impressed with how much damage this guy was doing. He was a relatively fast tame, and we decided to call him Horny, as per usual, and our Stigmiolock got called Hammerhead, because, well, that's what its head does. I then went ahead and started trying to knock out a Paracer because I wanted to do a nomad style base building where we built on the back of large herbivores and used them to go ahead and wander around the map with our base attached to them. So I went ahead, started knocking it out, and killed it. As per usual, my specialty, killing things without knocking them out. I then spent the rest of the day trying to tame Lamantrias up, as these were the only herbivorous flyer that we could get on this map. I completely forgot about Lamantrias when I started this and didn't think I'd have access to any flyers, but thankfully I did. However, this bright colored, cool looking Lamantria died in the process, but I did find another level 15, trapped it with a tent, and got to work at knocking it out. Now, hopefully I wasn't going to kill this one like I did the last one, and it was only a low level, but I did manage to get it knocked out while also breaking my tent in the process. I took the Lamantria for a little bit of a test run and got some metal up here in the redwoods, and we flew back to base, made ourselves a smithy and a bunch of basic structures. I then found a 145 and trapped that big boy in a tent and got to work knocking that out. Thankfully, knocked it out without any hitches, and we managed to successfully tame it up as well without anything damaging it or killing us, which is always a bonus when you're playing these hardcore series. And we decided to call it Bug Eyes. A new day began, and I wanted to try and start it off by taming up this big trike dude. However, I got ganged by a Deinonychus and had to retreat on top of this cliffside, otherwise it would have killed us and my Lamantria. So this guy right here was a Nasutoceratops. Now, this was a low level 21, and these guys had very similar properties to a trike, where their head crest would reduce the amount of damage that they take, and obviously reducing the amount of torpor that they would take. Now, as well as that, these guys had an insane, and I mean absolutely colossal, amount of torpor. This one was only a level 20, and I fired easily about 200 trank arrows into it without it getting knocked out. I managed to kite it into this cliff face here, and we continued tranking it. However, I didn't realize they had a trample attack, and we took a lot of damage, almost losing Bug Eyes in the process. So I had to play it safe here, and then I started getting trampled in the process as well. This guy was an absolute beast of a machine, and he was terrifying. So I slightly retreated to a better spot when he died to some Deinonychus attacks, which, by the way, haven't been attacking him the whole time. I then found another Nasutoceratops, got it into a trap, and got to work at knocking it out. But once again, some lovely Deinonychuses decided to join the party and absolutely ruin my day by going ahead and munching on its booty. Because, you know, booty just tastes that good from a big-ass herbivore that you just gotta munch on it. That's how it works. So, we managed to bowl the Deinonychus, but the bleed from the Deinonychus still killed the Nasutoceratops. I was not having a good day today with all these Nasutoceratopses dying. So we went ahead and tamed up a Pinkertosaurus to try and salvage the day instead, and this guy was going to be our main metal gatherer for the time being until we found something else. Got a saddle on him and then got to work at harvesting some flint, stone, and metal. And this guy was super cute. I thought he was a decent little harvester to have with us. A new day began, and I found these little Cjthecheesauruses on the beach. I ran out of trank arrows and crafted up this modded boomerang, and this thing was a great knockout tool. This was from one of the mods, and it just did so much torpor damage. I did manage to tame up a bunch of these Cjthecheesauruses, including a 141. So these guys actually provided extra armor to your character, to the player, which ended up being like an extra set of flak for yourself, which in a hardcore series is absolutely perfect for what you want and what you need. And I spent the rest of the day exploring the area around us, and we found a Neovenator and a Carcharodontosaurus, and then we found a bright pink 150 Bronto, and I knew then and there that was my wandering base. So I got to work setting up another station of mortar and pestles, smithies, and getting narcotics going in the process when I spotted an alpha Ornithocheirus. Left that aside for the time being and got to work knocking out this 164 trike. Now, I was using the boomerang to do so because, as you can see here, it did about 400 torpor per throw, which was an insane amount of torpor. However, me choosing to do this in a herd of tech trikes was not the smartest idea. Now, as well as that, if you actually attack any herbivores in the area and there's a Nasutoceratops in the area, it will actually go ahead and defend those herbivores, which is exactly what happened here. This level 20 Nasutoceratops ran at me with a freaking vengeance. It was after my ass like no tomorrow. It was terrifying. So I had no choice but to jump into the water to try and lose it in there. And then I went back in and kept working on getting the tech trike knocked out. Thankfully, I did manage to kite the Nasutoceratops quite a bit of a distance away, so I could finish knocking out this tech trike. Now, I was faster than it. As long as I kept my distance and stopped it from using its stun attack on me, then we were a-okay. It did start running away from us because of its high torpor, and I did miss that most vital boomerang shot. But thankfully, the boomerang did return to me and the trike did get stuck on a rock, and I was able to continue knocking it out. However, its friend, the level 24 tech trike, also decided to run at us because its friend was getting attacked. So I had to do a little bit of parkour, a little bit of hit and run, and we didn't manage to get the high level tech trike knocked out. I then went ahead and spent some time going ahead and getting this 150 Bronto knocked out. It was a bright pink one. I could not pass up this opportunity to do so, and I finished knocking it out with my boomerang. Job successful, complete. I then spent a little bit of time helping these herbivores kill this alpha Ornithocheirus. I couldn't tame it, and I was most likely not going to be able to use any of the things that it dropped because it would be a saddle required that the Ornithocheirus would use, and it's obviously a meat eater, which is a no-go for this series as we are only taming up herbivores. Managed to tame up the 156 tech trike, and we decided to call it Suncrest. I don't know, it just kind of clicked with me. I then went ahead and saved this stego and then got mauled on by a bunch of lions. We got a lion? I'm running. I'm pretty sure our Lamantria is on passive. Lamantria? Lamantria! Alright, dodge and weave. Come through the ruins. Get off me. Have I got a bowler? I don't have a bowler. I have a boomerang. Bro, you want to go? I'll freaking knock you out in one punch, Bob. Bring it. Come on. You think you're tough, mate. Let's go. Oh, there's another one of those flying bastards. After showing the raptor who was its daddy, our Lamantria finally caught up to us from the lion attack. It was pretty low, but we were thankfully still okay, with no deaths so far. Our Bronto finally managed to tame up, and we decided to call it Lollipop. I feel like that was a super fitting name for a bright orange, pink, yellow Bronto. I then found these Cygnosauruses, which I thought we could use instead of traditional herbivores. However, I then found out that it was actually an omnivore. And we just spent a bit of time looking at some of the cool dinos that we would never be able to tame in this mod. But I stumbled across a 140 Nasutoceratops and I felt like a king. So I built a trap for it and cutted it up towards the trap in hopes to get it knocked out. Hopefully my luck was going to be a little bit better this time until another Nasutoceratops spawned in literally right alongside the 140. The moment I attack this one, the level 15 is going to aggro on me as well. And somehow it also managed to get stuck in the track, but it did break free, and boy oh boy was it a terrifying experience. That female, stay right. I'm gored? I can't move? That was scary. What does that say? You were unable to recover stamina, was staggered. Dude, go away, please. Why? Lamantria, we're staggered. We're gonna die. We're in trouble. Let me go, please, sir. Can't move. I'm just gonna have to wait for our stamina to come back while this thing just pummels me. I can't wait. I need to move. I'm stuck. Can't get out. I'm actually... I have to dip. I can't... These bastards, I swear to God, and I'm pretty sure they're faster than me as well. I hope Bug Eyes is behind me. I really don't want to jump in the water here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It's stuck in a fucking tree. Oh my God. Trike. Where is my trike? Mega Piranhas are coming. Bug Eyes is dead. Get on the trike. We got Mega Piranhas coming after us. What fucking killed us? A lion. A level 20 lion killed Bug Eyes. You bastard. Alright, let's deal with this thing. This guy's pissing me off. You killed Bug Eyes, you bastard. What? Run. I'm running. I'm staggered. I got no freaking stamina. Throw whatever we have out. No, don't. No. Kill it. Just kill it, Trike. Kill it. Kill it. This little dude's attacking it. Oh, alright. Alright. Okay, Suncrest killed the Nasutoceratops. Suncrest, deal with the lion, please. Holy smoker-doodles. Okay, can you move? Suncrest, you're a glorified badass, mate. I don't know where the hell... After all that drama, I finally managed to return to the Nasutoceratops that we were knocking out, and I finally managed to get it knocked out. And then I found this absolutely nightmarish creature that does not belong ever in anything. And this was just terrifying. Now, I went to fight it thinking that Suncrest was going to be up to the task, not realizing that this thing does bleed damage that stacks. You can see there in the top corner. We've taken 10 seconds worth of the bleed damage every time it attacks us, and it did also replenish its health from a corpse, so that made this fight just all that much more harder. I thought we were going to lose Suncrest. Look at that health. Look at that health ticking down. Oh, it was just too close. It was, oh man, no. I was not able to mentally recover from that. And then a Neovenator spawned pretty much right next to the Nasutoceratops as well. Killed all of that and successfully tamed up the Nasutoceratops. Now, this thing was massive. I was really excited for it. We got a saddle on it, and you can see next to it is the Zuniceratops. The Nasutoceratops is just an absolute beast. I was testing out its abilities. It had a bit of a roar. It also has a charge attack very similarly to the Rhino, and as you can see there, that also stacked. Now, I did find another tech trike here, a 168 tech trike, and I got to work at knocking that out. Now, I kind of just sat on the back of an Nasutoceratops, but I didn't realize that we were also taking damage when the boomerang would return to me. And the Nasutoceratops did take a little bit of damage in the process. But thankfully, I did manage to knock out the tech trike, and just like that, we had a pair of trikes. Now, another Nasutoceratops spawned in the area, and I got to work at knocking that out. Built another trap up, started firing trank arrows into it, kiting it towards the trap. Now, Bully and this new Nasutoceratops could potentially breed if I did manage to get them tamed up, and that would be great for our army. I then found an Alphacano and got to work at trying to fight that when a Stego absolutely nuked my poor Nasutoceratops's ass. Okay, of course I'm the one that gets... What the fuck? Why am I taking so much damage for? After taking a butt ton of damage from the Stego's Impale attack and losing all my stamina, I had to get the hell out of there. I did not want to lose Bully straight off the bat of just taming him up. It was not worth it. So I did return once the Stego was gone, and we got to work at fighting the Alphacano. It was only a level 15, and I felt pretty confident that Bully was going to be able to defeat this guy. However, just to be on the safe side of things, I then decided to throw out our tech trike just to provide a little bit of assistance, because, you know, things were looking a little bit dangerous. Bully was running very low on stamina and health, and I didn't really want to risk losing him. Successfully tamed up the second Nasutoceratops as well, and this was perfect. This would mean Bully would have a girlfriend to get jiggy with it and make all the little egg babies that we could possibly want. Now, after taming up the Nasutoceratopses, I had an idea in mind that I was going to go to the cave up north where there's a ton of metal. So I had to make the trek all the way up there on the back of Bully in order to get to the cave system that I wanted to get to. This is the cave behind the waterfall. You guys would probably know it very well for those of you that have played Valguero. So it was just pretty much a very long journey up to this section of the map. I reached my destination and then went ahead building up refining forges and foundations to hold them. This was going to be great because I could farm all the metal in this cave, get it all refined up, and then I could build everything I needed for my bases. However, while this was happening, I then found some high-level mammoths and got to work knocking them out. A 150 female and a 100 male were going to be perfect breeding pair. I had to do a little bit of parkour alongside our tech trike, but I was thankfully able to dodge most of the mammoth's attacks and fend them off just for enough time to be able to knock them out. So the mammoth level 100 one was going to be obviously the easiest target. It would have the least amount of torpor, and thankfully I was able to outrun both of these mammoths. So it was just a matter of throwing my boomerang enough to knock them out. And we successfully managed to knock out the level 100 first, and then I moved on to the level 150. Once again, a breeding pair, going to be perfect for getting some imprinted mammoths, which would be key in holding our bases up on their platform saddles. I then found a Megaloceros 150, and I was like, we need to tame this guy up, because obviously it's going to be a great transport tame to get around on. We can move fast with Megaloceroses. Got that knocked out and tamed up, and I was super happy with it. However, it didn't last very long. Oh, fuck me. Get out of there. Okay, well, so much for our fucking Megaloceros. Run, just run. Holy shit. I'm running into a fucker. After managing to get away from the horde of direwolves and Daedons, I stumbled upon some beaver dams and some Castoroiduses and figured, you know what? We could probably use some cementing paste and some beavers. These guys would be great for swimming down to the ocean to get some silica pearls, so I knocked out a 135 female Castoroidus and then got to work knocking out a couple of its friends. I then managed to find a female level 85 Megaloceros, and I needed something quick to be able to run and do something quick. So I got to work at trying to get that knocked out. However, its boyfriend got angry at us because I was trying to stick a boomerang in its butt and use it for my own purposes. So I found a 135 Castoroiduses as well and thought I'd put my boomerang up its butt as well. Getting that knocked out in the process and taming up the Megaloceros. I then found a Yudi attacking our Castoroiduses, so obviously we had to defend them with literally everything we had because I didn't want the Castoroiduses to take damage and lose effectiveness. Managed to defeat the Yudi and crafted up our first platform saddles for our trikes. Now I managed to get our dinos breeding with the Castoroidus pooping out its first baby, the Nasutoceratopses producing eggs, and a crafting table getting placed down so that we could start making a couple of structures for our trike platform saddles. My goal here was to use the trikes as portable greenhouses, and boy oh boy was it a challenge. Look at this greenhouse plot placement. This genuinely took me so long to do because I was trying to get it to snap, and building on platforms is probably not my smartest decision to date, to be honest, purely based off how difficult it was. So after doing all of that, I then took Bully out and decided to test its new melee damage out because it had gotten quite a few levels, and you saw there 1652 damage on a charge attack, and its normal attacks are doing a butt ton of damage as well. So I killed a bunch of things as well, and this guy was great because he would harvest meat and hide as well. Managed to get myself the mammoth platform saddle and get some structures down on that, and I got to work at setting up a very small portable base on the back of the mammoth until I was high enough level for the Bronto platform saddle, because I didn't have the level required for the platform saddle yet. So our mammoth was great. He was happy. This was our imprinted one. And we then decided to take the trikes out on a bit of a journey. And this is what I was going for. That bit of nomad lifestyle where we could just wander around on the back of our herbivores, have everything at our disposal, and still be able to kill everything and anything. Now, I got our two Nasutoceratopses out and decided to test them out on this Alpha Carno, with me constantly charging into it and the other Nasutoceratops just face tanking it all, because I did level one up in health and one in melee damage to do this exact role. And the Alphacano didn't really stand too much of a chance, to be completely honest. It was getting domed pretty damn hard by our mate boosted Nasutoceratopses. So I threw Lollipop out and decided to take Lollipop, and we cleared out of the cave and all of our resources. I managed to cook up quite a lot of metal, quite a lot of charcoal and cementing paste and everything like that from the cave. And then I needed some dung beetles for our greenhouse trikes. So I had to go out to the Wyvern Trench, and boy oh boy, was this a harrowing journey. This just did not go well at all for me. I did not think this through very well. Run! Run, Megaloceros! Run! Oh, shit.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
No. It's going to fall into the lava. I have put myself in a very bad position here. A very bad position. Oh god, what have I done? Okay. Okay, there goes our Megaloceros, which is wonderful. So I had to fight my way out of the Wyvern Trench. Luckily I had the Nasutoceratopses with me, so they were mate boosted, and we got to work at trying to kill these ice wyverns. It was a shame we lost our Megaloceros, but in hindsight, I kind of just yeeted myself into a goddamn wyvern pit, so I didn't really have much of a choice. But remember, this was all for this singular dung beetle. This is the entire reason why I risked this whole series, for a singular dung beetle, so that we could get fertilizer for our crop plots. So thankfully I managed to tame the dung beetle, and I started making my way out of the Wyvern Trench. There was this cave that led us up and out of the trench. So thankfully Bully and Horny were there, and we had our Zuniceratops, which I literally had like 30 points in movement speed. Threw it all into movement speed, and we used our Zuniceratops to get out of there successfully. Stopped by this purple drop to get a Journeyman long neck rifle, and then we found a bunch of Kairukus down below here, where we went ahead and harvested them up for a bunch of organic polymer, and that was pretty much going to be enough organic polymer to get the structures that we needed for our Bronto platform saddle, as we successfully hit the level 84 required in the Wyvern Trench, and we were finally able to build on the back of Lollipop and build our base. So I got to work designing the base in my head, and the first thing that I wanted to get down was the industrial forge. Obviously this was going to be the largest structure on Lollipop, and I wanted to make sure it had plenty of space to go down. So we put it at the back of the Bronto, and I tried making some walls to try and enclose it. I did want to make this smaller. Due to us using the S Plus mod, you are able to change the size of the industrial forges. When a mammoth just wanted to get some mammoth action and decided to climb on top of our other mammoth in the base section, I don't know what it was doing. Nonetheless, went ahead and putting down various structures across our Bronto, building up the base slowly, industrial grill, refrigerators, more walls, as well as the smithy and the generator. Now, I really enjoyed building this base. It was a pain in the butt though, because a lot of the snap points are funky because the base is constantly moving because you're building on the back of a goddamn dinosaur. So it made some gaps and stuff like that in various places, but all in all, I was actually super happy with how everything was all coming together. I figured there was more than enough room here for everything that we needed to do. I came up with this design, which I wasn't really happy with, so I changed it around, and we gave ourselves a little bit of a sort of observatory room at the top here of our Bronto, which would enable us to look out here. I chucked down a bunch of windows and everything like that, and put some more double door frames down, and things were looking really good. I was really happy with how this was looking. So you can see there was a trap door there, so we had a second story, and putting down these would enable us to have a third story. And this was what the base looked like by the end of building it up. I was really happy with it. We had a little balcony, we had a little observatory room, which I eventually converted into a breeding area as well, where we could hatch eggs and raise them using the soul terminals that I decided to put in there. And then I finally moved to a new destination where we found a Shantungosaurus. Now, this Shantungosaurus was essentially a gigantic iguanodon in terms of looks. So I built a trap for the Shantungosaurus and got to work in trying to get it trapped. However, for the life of me, I could not get this big guy trapped. It just was not working. He was on top of it. He was a big, hefty boy. He was about the size of a Rex, to be completely honest. I think a little bit bigger than the Rex because he was longer. So I expanded the trap, making it longer. And then I decided to try my luck at getting the Shantungosaurus again in the said trap. Using my trusty boomerang still, because this thing, it did so much torpor damage. Like, it was ridiculous. It would deal more than, like, trank arrows, which was nuts. So I shot the Shantungosaurus, managed to finally get it stuck in the trap. Hallelujah. And then I got to work at getting it knocked out. Oh, scared. Successfully knocked out and tamed the Shantungosaurus, and I got to work using it, trying to figure out what it did. Now, the reason I tamed up the Shantungosaurus was because it did say in the mod description that it had the ability to buff your herbivores, which I thought would be perfect for the boss fights. As well as that, it pretty much just functioned exactly the same as a giant iguanodon. New day began and I found a 140 Procoptodon and got to work getting that knocked out, and I decided to take Shanty out for a bit of a spin and see how it would face off against a Suchomimus. Needless to say, we had nothing to worry about with Shanty absolutely destroying the Suchomimus. I found a 140 Lamantria because I wanted to breed our Lamantrias up, and a Mastercraft Therisaddle, which would be great for fighting bosses. Managed to tame up both Lamantrias, and then I found a Platosaurus. I had no idea what this thing did, but it was a passive tames that we needed to feed narcotics, so I was like, why not? Super easy tame to get, we can go ahead and tame it up. And then I called my Procoptodon Skip. How fitting, I know, right? Managed to tame up our first Platosaurus, brought that back to base, and yeah, didn't go well for the Platosaurus. Earlier that day, I found an Alpha Nasutoceratops and figured it would be a good idea to try and fight it, as the Alphas dropped saddle blueprints for the corresponding dino. Alpha Nasutoceratopses would be great, because I was planning on using Nasutoceratopses to fight the bosses, because, you know, they do a lot of damage with their charge. They're generally super tanky. So we got to work on taking it out, and I wanted to use this one to charge into it to deal a bunch of extra damage. However, just things were not looking great for me. We did actually get the charge off, but it was kind of useless because all of our other dinos had already done a bunch of damage to it. We didn't get any saddles for it. We got an Ascendant one actually, and it was no way we were going to be able to make that Ascendant saddle whatsoever. Managed to tame up the final Plateosaurus, and this was the 131 that we were actually going to use. Made a magical alchemy table, which enabled us to make our very own Revel Destroyer. Now, these were the horses that would kill us at the beginning of the series, and these guys were super strong. They had a bunch of health, they had a bunch of melee damage, and they came built with automatic saddles, which provided them a butt ton of armor. As well as that, their attacks function very similarly to the Equises, which enabled them to knock out and deal a ton of torpor damage to whatever it is that they decided to fight. So I was super happy with our Revel Destroyer, and it would come in handy quite a bit later through the 100 Days series. I then found another player's base, as this was played on my server, and he had a Revel Destroyer as well. Except he had the ice version, and the ice version slowly chunked my health out. As you can see, it was dropping, and I was completely unaware that my health was plummeting. Now, this player also had some Nasutoceratopses breeding, and I figured I'd help myself to one of the eggs as it was just going to spoil. I chucked some air conditioners down and started hatching up that Nasutoceratops egg that I had found, and it hatched with great stats. With 42 melee damage, this guy was going to be great for our boss Nasutoceratopses. Now, I left the rest of the eggs to hatch when I found this Baler, which was also a herbivorous, raptor-like creature. Got to work in trying to tame that up. However, it managed to get itself in a very, very precarious spot for someone playing on a hardcore series that takes a lot of damage from fall damage. So I sat on this cliff face, slowly trying to tame up this Baler in the way that would not result in me dying. Tamed up the Baler and tamed up the Europasaurus that was also alongside of Baler, and got these guys back to base to test out exactly how well they work. Back at base, the Nasutoceratopses had hatched, and I got to work crying them up. A lot of these guys were going to be used for the boss fight, but a lot of them were also going to be killed. I wanted to test exactly what the Baler could do, and it pretty much mimicked a raptor's core, so it could actually blend in with raptors, and I wanted to test if this would work with Deinonychuses. So what I want to know is whether or not they'll attack us with this guy. Yep, that's a hard yep. Yep, they definitely want to attack us. Yep, okay, well, we know the answer to that question now. I then wanted to test out the Parasaurus, and it was kind of just like a smaller version of a Bronto and Diplo. It wasn't anything amazing. A lot of the extra herbivores were sauropods in this mod. I then spent the next day hunting down Theres for the boss army, as I was going to use Theres as well as our Nasutoceratopses to defeat these guys. I found another 140 Baler as well in the process, and pretty much I just kept finding Theres. And you guys know how this goes. Find the Theres, go ahead, knock them out, tame them up. That was pretty much all there was to it for these Theres. I'd managed to find quite a few stat-wise that were decent, and then I found this ugly bastard. Run, 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 run. Okay, I didn't realize it was going to be hostile. Holy smokes, that was terrifying. Oh my god. It's fast too, the bastard. Run, just run, just run, just run. That scared the shit out of me. It electrocuted us. After escaping with my life, I then went back to hunting down Theres to tame up, and I found a 145 with 33 points in its melee damage, so this was gonna be a great Theres. Got to work knocking it out using my long neck and a bunch of darts. Eventually ran out of darts, and the boomerang just was not proving to be very effective against getting this guy knocked out. So I had the wise decision to bring a tame that we got earlier into the mix to try and help us out, because I didn't really want to risk going it on foot and dying. So our Revel Destroyer came in and absolutely knocked the block off this Theres, just like that, dealing a ton of damage and knocking it out. Our first Theres tamed up, it was a male, and it came out with super good stats. 39 points in melee damage, which is perfect. And then I found a 150 Theres after all of this, taming all these damn Theres. Skipped out on taming that one up though, because it didn't have very good base stats to look at. And the rest of the Theres came out with great stats. 41 melee damage on the final Theres. So I was going to have to do quite a lot of breeding to get the necessary stats that I wanted to across into the offspring. And the rest of the time was pretty much spent breeding up the Theres and the Nasutoceratopses. We bred like crazy. I also destroyed most of the babies as well to get extra XP and levels, because I wanted to make this workstation which would enable us to make some extra strong modded equipment, such as the M95A shotgun, I believe it's called, or something like that. It was a super fancy shotgun. So I went ahead and started making up the transposition anvil, which would enable us to make this shotgun as well as the ammo, but we needed steel ingots and polymer, and we just got ahead and made all of that. I also then spent the rest of the time farming up alpha Nasutoceratopses in hopes that I could find a decent saddle blueprint for our Nasutoceratopses, because like I said earlier, my idea was to bring half Nasutoceratopses, half Theres, plus the Shantungosaurus, because the Nasutoceratopses were going to be ridden on to use the charge attack and deal a butt ton of extra damage to the bosses. So I needed a decent saddle for our Nasutoceratopses, because they were also going to be mainly our tanks, whereas the Theres were going to be DPS dealers because they had much more damage. Well, they didn't have much more damage, but the Nasutoceratopses just had much higher HP as well, just purely because of their tankiness. And then I had to go fight the Broodmother for the artifacts located in her cave. There were 3 artifacts that I was going to need in there, and thankfully I only brought a couple of Theres and Nasutoceratopses, and majority of our dudes survived. We didn't actually lose any of our tames to the Broodmother fight. Now I know she's not the full strength Broodmother, but I was still pretty impressed with how our dudes were handling her, and Shanty was being ridden to provide the buff to our Theres in the process as well. Defeated the Broodmother, and then I ventured into her cave full of freaking bugs. Oh my god, never seen so many damn bugs before in my life. And I went ahead and gathered the necessary artifacts I needed to fight the bosses of Valguero. Now, I was originally going to do the alpha boss fight, but I actually got the artifacts for the alpha boss fight as well. And I opted to just do the gamma, and you'll see why later on through the 100 Days series, but it just kind of, it took a little bit of a turn for the worse. Nonetheless, I did manage to get the rest of the artifacts, starting with the artifact of the Pact, the artifact of the Immune, and the artifact of the Strong. However, they were well defended by a bunch of Mega Neuros, and I did successfully fend all of them off, gathering my much needed prize. Unfortunately, I couldn't put any of the extra artifacts in our Cjthecheesedj, but I only needed the basics, and then I had to make a leg for it, and dodge the broodmother in the process. I didn't really want to fight her with our Procoptodon, and I didn't really want to bother throwing everything out again to fight her. So I was hoping that Skip could just get us the hell out of here. And thankfully we were able to dodge all of her little minions and the bats and spiders and everything and just leg it out of there and out of the redwoods to finally get ready and collect the last artifacts that we needed to fight the bosses. So I had to descend into this cave. I sent my Theory in first to try and distract all the eels. And then I figured, well, I'm going to need to go down there and save its ass. Otherwise, it's just going to die to getting electrocuted by all the eels. And we made our way down there, finishing them off and saving our Theory in the process. I got Artifact of the Devourer as well. So we got that ready to go for the boss fight. And then I got the final artifact that was located in this cave, the Artifact of the Brute. Oh man, this is... Oh, I thought I pressed the button to land and I thought he was going to land in the freaking lava. All right, can we land back? God damn, that was terrifying. That lava would have instantly killed us, I reckon. I mean, we'll take the Scorched Torch skin. And there is the Artifact of the Destroyer. So we needed this for the Gamma, and I'm considering whether or not we want to just try and tackle the Gamma. After collecting the necessary artifacts, I then went ahead and went on a breeding spree. I was trying to go for mutations. Obviously, mutations would make this fight a lot easier, and I was purely trying to mutate the Theries and the Nasutoceratopses. My method was to throw out a bunch of eggs, hatch them, and then soul gun all of the Tames, looking out for those that had the extra 2 levels, as I had successfully managed to get the wanted stats onto the 2 Theries that I wanted through obviously selective breeding, which took a butt ton of time. I had a ton of Theory eggs that I needed to hatch, a ton of Theories that I needed to raise, just to get prepared for the boss fight. I did eventually get a mutation, but I had one more stop to go to. The final artifact, the Artifact of the Skylord, located in the Wyvern Trench. I was shitting myself because all I had to defend myself was my poor little Lamantria. And this artifact is located right in the middle of the lava pits in a wyvern infested area that could very easily nuke us. Thankfully, I did get the Artifact of the Skylord and I got the hell out of there as fast as I freaking could. I was not hanging around to try and find out what would happen. And just like that, I needed the final trophy items and we could finally fight the Gamma bosses. So I went ahead and started farming up some more Alpha Nasutoceratopses in hopes to get a saddle. And lo and behold, this time we would get lucky and actually finally get a decent saddle that we could use and craft to outfit our Nasutoceratopses for the final boss fight. I just had to find it in our bunch of Theries, and there it is there, a Mastercraft Nasutoceratops saddle with 97 armor, and it was super cheap to make. So I went ahead getting the rest of the trophy items I needed with the Sarco skins, as well as the Titanoboa Venom and the Aloe Brains. Also continuing the hatching, breeding, raising process in hopes to get more mutations, and at last we were finally ready to fight the Gamma bosses on Valguero. I'm hoping that we can pull this off. I really am. Alright, so let's get the tributes in. Boom. Alright, here we go. Let's do it. I'm very nervous. Let's make sure everything is in. Oh no! Our Shantungosaurus didn't come with us. That's bullshit. As if he doesn't come with us. That's trash. That's so... Why am I zooming me in? Stop zooming in. That's so... Because I don't want to have to deal with him and the Megapithecus at the same time. Alright, let's get him, lads. So, we're going to charge him with our Nasuto. Oh shit, we are dealing damage. Okay, this is going better than I anticipated. We're doing quite a bit of damage. Our rage attacks are doing decent amounts. Wow, okay. We are absolutely chunking the dragon. I was not expecting this. I can tell you that much. All right, well, I mean, we're not getting hopeful yet because we've still got to deal with the Megapithecus. I think the dragon is the weakest of the 3 of them. Purely, it has... All right. Gamma Dragon's defeated. All right, here we go. We're going to get a full charge attack off on the Megapithecus. Let's see how much damage we do. Jokes, the fucking Castle War is going to stop us. Yeah, see, he's pretty tanky. But if we do the charge attack here that we're doing, we are doing quite a bit of extra damage to him. I kind of want to turn and face the Manticore, to be honest. I'm stuck. I kind of want to turn and face the Manticore just because we can... He's fighting. We can fight him on the ground while he's here. Shit, our Theries are super bloody already. I'm keeping an eye out on our health. Ouch. Are we hitting the Manticore? Man, he's taking little amounts of damage. How damaged are our dudes here? Shit, they must have taken a lot of damage from the dragon's breath. Alright, I'm hoping they're hitting it. It looks like they are. I don't want to get in that cloud. The rest of our dudes are looking okay-ish. The Megapithecus is kind of bugging out, but we're damaging him, which is what matters. He's in a really awkward spot here. I don't think everything's hitting him. It really sucks that our Shantungosaurus didn't come along, because our Theries would be doing quite a bit more damage if that were the case. Oh shit, that was a big hit. They're the dangerous attacks. Come on lads, hit him. I think we just need to focus on one. Except the fucking problem is we're super locked off here. Alright, there goes our first Nasutoceratops. That's not a good sign. I can't see what's going on here. Alright, just keep hitting him, fellas. You're doing great. I don't know what... Oh, theory. Alright, Megapithecus is dead. Megapithecus is dead, I repeat. Get the fucking Manticore. Let's go, fellas. I'm super stuck here. Fuck off. I don't care. Do I want to try and do this on foot? Oh, shit. This shotgun. It does damage. Actually, I didn't even try the bullets on it. Hold on. Let's try these. Get in there, fellas. All right, this is going pretty good. We lost one Nasuto. I wonder why we lost one. Come on, reload. Okay, it doesn't look like it sets it on fire. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm just going to use the normal bullets. But it looks like our dinos are doing a decent job. There is no way we would have been able to do this on Alpha. No way we would have done this on Alpha. Can I fire bullets? Oh shit, these guys are freaking low. Guys, move over there, please. Go. Get off me. Crap. Crap. I can't fucking move, guys. You're killing me here. Alright, looks like I might come down for a landing again. Yeah, our dudes are very weak. Wow, okay. Here he comes. Get him, fellas. Lads, get him. We're going to help out how we can. Shit. I really shouldn't be running around on foot doing this. Come here, you. A fully charged attack on this guy. I just got to watch out for all the rocks and shit, because that messes up our charge. I don't think I got it. Oh well, doesn't matter. We're just going to nail him as much as we can. Our dudes are super low. Honestly, I was not expecting them to be this low from this fight. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Done. Let's fucking go. Woo-hoo-hoo! And just like that, I survived 100 days hardcore on Valguero using herbivores only. Thank you very much for watching this one today, guys. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe down below for more. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.